Pacific time.
Live from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, indoor football. The NFL on CBS brings you the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. In the NFC Central, the Vikings lead at 5-2, and they play Chicago Monday night. Detroit and Green Bay at 2-5 have not yet surrendered their playoff hopes. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan here at the Silverdome. The Green Bay Packers have had one offensive star so far this season, Sterling Sharp, and what a star he has been. 44 catches, second in the NFL in receiving, and he wants that receiving title. I'm joined here at the Silverdome by Matt Millen. And Matt, defensively, something you're familiar with, the Packers number 24 in the league. Now the Lions, on the other hand, coming off a win last week, feeling better, but they're suffering in different ways.
Oh, they're having a tough time, and their offensive line is taking a pounding. Lomas Brown's the only returner from last year's 12-4 division team, and this week they get another new face. Blake Miller, the rookie, will start. You know, I saw him before the game. He looked very nervous. Not only does he have to snap the ball, but he's got to make all those offensive line calls. But forget the line problems, Tim. Packer coach Mike Holmgren says despite the low rushing average, Barry Sanders is still the main concern. The other concern is the matchup of the 6'3" Herman Moore against the 5'9" rookie defensive back Terrell Buckley, who's come in with a big splash, but he's been having a tough time.
Well, he is expected to see plenty of action today from Herman Moore. And this is a man that the Packers want to avoid. Mel Gray, the outstanding return man. Chris Jackie, as you can see, is kicking it as far away from him as possible. It's taken by Jeff Campbell, and Campbell gets up to the 27-yard line, where the Lions will start 1st and 10. Corey Harris made the tackle for Green Bay. Rodney Peete will bring on the Lions offense, and Peete off to a fine start this season despite the problems in the offensive line. As Matt Millen said, Lomas Brown the only starter returning from a year ago at this time, and Blake Miller the man on the spot today. They're a little concerned about him in his first start replacing the injured Kevin Glover. Sanders the running back, 3 wide receivers, Green, Perriman, and Herman Moore, and they will use their run and shoot 4 wide receiver set. Play action on 1st down, and Peete is knocked down as it was Bryce Popp knocking the offensive lineman right into Peete and knocking him over. Defensively for Green Bay, Matt Brock, John Yurkovich, and Robert Brown across the 3-man front. The linebackers, George Kuntz on the left side, Burnell Dent for the injured Brian Noble, Johnny Holland, and Tony Bennett. In the secondary, Terrell Buckley, the rookie, Roland Mitchell starts ahead of second-year man Vinnie Clark, and Chuck Cecil and Leroy Butler are the safeties. And there is Terrell Buckley, 5'9", 175-pounder, the #1 pick out of Florida State. Sanders, good defensive pursuit, nowhere for him to go, as George Kuntz, the free agent out of the World Football League, ran him down.
You know, Tim, the main thing that I saw this week, we talked to the Detroit Lions, what stood out to me is even though they're 2-5, this is really a confident football team. They really believe that they got a chance to get back into the playoffs.
It is a 3rd and 13, Matt, here after that knockdown of Peete on 1st down, setting them back. And this has not been a strength of the Lions so far in their 2-5 season. They're coming off an impressive win against Tampa Bay last week, and hoping that maybe that is turning things around. Peete under pressure, gets it off to Sanders, a nice catch. But he is well short of the 1st down, gaining only about 4 back near the original line of scrimmage. Johnny Holland and Leroy Butler, number 50 and number 36, were there to stop him, and Detroit will punt.
Yeah, they're punting, and that concerns them, Tim. It concerns them because 3rd down has been biting their rear end the whole year. They haven't been able to convert, and they're struggling in a 3rd down situation.
Well, they do have a good punter in there, and it'll be Terrell Buckley, the rookie defender, as the return man. Jim Arnold has had 30 punts, and he is averaging 44.1 each try. He's a premier punter in the NFL. And he really kills one. Buckley at the 19. Loose ball. Lions have it. George Jamison put the lick on him. And Tom McLemore apparently came up with a loose ball. Although Cullen getting some congratulations as well. Two of them diving for it. A 51-yard punt, and Buckley let it go.
Yeah, Buckley got the great instincts and stuff you can't teach is getting up the field. But what you can teach, Tim, is holding on to the ball. Now, that's a good job knocking it out of there. Bad job of holding on to it.
Jamison stripped it. You could see getting that arm right on the ball.
Now, I tell you what, right now, if I'm Detroit, I'm going right at Buckley right now. I want to put the ball in Herman Moore's hands and really beat him down into the ground.
First down at the 39 of Green Bay. Play action. Sideline. Perriman. First down to the 22. Pushed out by Cecil.
Yeah, now watch that right there. See, that's big. That's big. Herman Moore got there. Ball's thrown out in the flat. Perriman makes a catch. Herman Moore goes right after Buckley. See, one of the knocks that's been going on the last couple weeks, I said, this guy here, he doesn't want to hit. He doesn't want to come up. And everybody knows that's going on, so they're going to try to make it as physical as possible. See, plays over. Herman Moore says, all right, let's see how tough you are. You came in here, you're talking. I'm going to be after you all day long.
So Buckley looks like he's taking a deep breath there here on first down. Lions from the 22 of Green Bay. Sanders dances away from one tackler and then is buried at the 20 after a gain of 2. Shook loose from Jurkovich, but Chuck Cecil came up to make the stop.
You know, Tim, we talked at the top of the game about Barry Sanders. Mike Holmgren said, look, pay no attention to his average per rush. You see it right there is 3.9. And I know exactly what he's talking about. We watched the film, and I got to tell you, Barry Sanders is the same runner that he's been the first 3 years. And I'll tell you, he has made the greatest 2-yard runs I have ever seen in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah, and those add up, too. And last week, of course, he did break a big one and wound up with 122 yards against Tampa Bay and 2 touchdowns. Sanders again. Ridden out by Buckley at the 15-yard line of the Packers. It'll leave third down and 2 for a first.
That's good job by Terrell coming up there. You know, I spoke with Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator of Detroit, and I said, any matchups you'd like to see? He said, you know, there aren't really any that you could point to, but what I really like to see is get Barry Sanders one-on-one with anybody. Because, you know, we talked about Buckley not, having problems coming up and tackling, but he said, look, I want to get Barry Sanders one-on-one with anybody, not only for this team, but in the league. I like his chances.
Pass rushers are in for the Packers. Lester Archambault and Bryce Popp. Short drop. Incomplete. Intended for Herman Moore. And despite the quick release from Pete, the Packers had a pretty good rush that time.
Yeah, and they came with the blitz. They came with the blitz, and that manned him up. And say, that says something. They say, look, we know he's having a tough time out there, but we're going to match him up because we know the guy can cover.
Adrian White came on the blitz. And the field goal try now. The rookie Jason Hansen is 7 of 11 in this department. Has a 52-yarder to his credit his rookie season. This will be from 32. Jim Arnold, the holder. And Hansen routines it. The Lions, on their first opportunity following the turnover, make it a 3-0 game. Ryan with Matt Millen at the Silverdome. The new head man of the Green Bay Packers, Mike Holmgren, who really cleaned house with this team, coming in to replace Lindy Infante.
You know, Mike Holmgren said they were really having trouble stopping teams right out of the gate. And I think on that last drive, they had the big turnover. What he's got to be encouraged about is that their defense stopped them on the third down, and that's where they've really been having trouble, stopping teams on third down.
Jason Hansen, a rookie kicker for the Lions. 2 rookies are back to receive, Corey Harris and Edgar Bennett. And it comes to Harris at the 5. The Lions bury him at the 16-yard line. Harry Cullen made the stop, and some extra work after the play.
Take a look right there, and what you see is a division rivalry. That says it all right there. You know, that special teams, not a big deal, plays over. They get in after each other, start pounding on each other. That, to me, is the NFC Central Division rivalry.
Quarterback Brett Favre comes on, the youngster with a smile on his face, ready to go, looking confident. Second-year man from southern Mississippi, and he has this group in front. Rutgers, Moran, Campen, Hallstrom. Campen returning from an injury. Tootie Robbins, the right tackle. Jackie Harris, the tight end. Workman and Sidney, the running back. Sterling Sharp and Sanjay Beach, the former 49er, the wide receivers. First down from their 16. Make it to 17. Favre throwing on first down to the tight end. Harris gets about 3. Buried there. Jamison, the linebacker, number 58, leading the charge. Packers said they wanted to come out and throw the football early, so they throw on first down. The Lions start with a 4-man front. Mark Spindler, Jerry Ball, Kelvin Pritchett, and Robert Porcher, the rookie. Jamison, Spielman, and Dennis Gibson, the linebackers. Mike Kofer is out with a neck injury today. Ray Crockett, Melvin Jenkins on the corners. Benny Blades and William White are the safeties. Normally a 3-4 team, they open with a 4-man front, partly because of the injury to Kofer. Loose ball. And Favre recovers and dives forward, gaining about a yard.
Yeah, I talked to Brett Favre yesterday about how he's feeling about the system. You know, you're at the halfway point of the system. Where are you? He says, look, I feel very comfortable with the system, but we're just not executing it. He said, I go back and I look at film, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. He said, now there's a system that they've been in a long time, and they know each other. Everybody's making the same reads. We're all on the same page. He said, here, we're not quite there yet.
Now, James Campen and Favre having difficulty with the exchange. Campen, his first game back, coming off injured reserve following a knee injury. Third down and 3. Play action. Favre will run it, and he has the first down. Sliding to the 42-yard line of Green Bay. Good effort by the young quarterback.
Yeah, it's a good effort. And, you know, you could almost hear Mike Holmgren talking to his head. He was saying all last week, don't hold on to the ball. If you have it, run it. If you can throw it, throw it. Do not get sacked. You see him, he takes it upfield. He's not going to get sacked, and he made something happen.
17-yard gain for Favre. There's Holmgren. A very calming influence as a head coach. His first head coaching job. That's Don Mikowski. Now the backup quarterback, the young Favre, alongside Holmgren. First down at the 40-yard line, 41. Workman trying to get wide. Good pursuit with a flag down. Melvin Jenkins. And it might have been a face mask. Jenkins putting the stop on Workman, who's having an outstanding year. 400 yards of rushing, 39 catches. Holding is the call against Green Bay.
Melvin Jenkins right there. That was a picture-perfect job of how a defensive back should play.
Holding number 86, offense.
Ed West,
First down.
the tight end, charged with holding.
There's Melvin Jenkins. See, when you're in defense and they attack that line, everybody's responsible for a gap. Now, he is the last outside guy. They cannot get behind him. They came up with the corner, and they had corner force. Jenkins did a great job. Held the outside, made the tackle.
Jenkins, they consider their best cover man as well, coming over in Plan B last year from Seattle. First and 20 now at the 31. Favre just got it off to Workman, his release man, and Workman picks up about 7, forced out by Ray Crockett. It'll leave second and 12.
You know, what they talk about with quarterbacks, usually they say, this guy, he gets happy feet and he wants to get rid of the ball. This is one thing you will not hear about Brett Favre. If there's one thing that they talk about that's a knock, he holds on to the ball too long and has too much patience.
But better that than the other way.
No question. You never see that in a young quarterback, and that's a great quality to have.
He has a second and 14 now at the Green Bay 38-yard line. Workman sets up on the wing right. Harry Sidney, the lone setback. Gets some protection and connects to Beach. but not much of a gain, only a couple, as he was well covered on the play by Kevin Scott, the nickelback, number 38.
You know, one of the things they talk about with this Packer offense is we don't go down the field too much. He said that's one of the things. This is Brett Favre talking. He says, one of the things that I do very well is throw the ball downfield. I got a strong arm, and I want to throw it down. But, you know, our offensive scheme right now, everything underneath and try to pick it down the field, high percentage, you get some confidence. He says, when they're ready, I'm ready to air it out.
Well, this offense, of course, much like the 49er offense from where Holmgren came. And that's the Montana style. Just pick you to death and then wait for that opportunity for the big one. On third down, Favre just airs it out to unload it.
That's good defense.
And the Packers will have to punt. And the man coming on the field to punt, very much in the spotlight, number 16, Paul McJulian, averaging 38.5 a punt, and has really struggled in the last couple of weeks. In fact, he was nearly cut after the game last week in the loss against the Bears. Mike Holmgren says, I'll give him one more week.
Yeah, he effectively said, I fired him. Sunday night, I fired him.
In my mind.
Right.
And he hits a dandy. Mel Gray, fair catch signal at the 12-yard line. So McJulian has got to feel much better right now.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road. HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer. And by Coors Cutter, non-alcoholic brew.
6 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first quarter here at the Silverdome. Paul McJulian, the struggling punter, boomed a 47-yarder. Got a nice greeting from Nolan Cromwell.
He got a nice greeting from Nolan. Nolan's the first guy over there. You know, he's been coming under a lot of heat about whether he wants to change his 2 or 3 steps when he's taking a kick. Nolan says, look, go back to what you're doing.
Be comfortable. On first down, deep sideline, incomplete. Lions want an interference call, none forthcoming. Vinnie Clark had the coverage on Willie Green.
Great job by Vinnie Clark and Willie Green right there. Now, Vinnie Clark, defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes, told me yesterday that Vinnie Clark's got all kinds of abilities. He's probably as talented as anybody they have. He just lost his confidence. He says, you know, I remember when I played with the Raiders, we had a guy, defensive back, Ted Watts, came into the league, could run with anybody, could cover anybody, but he just wasn't quite sharp enough when it came time to make the play.
Packers had their nickel defense on the field on first down there, so they were ready for it. 2nd and 10. Sanders for about 6. And Buckley just gave a little shot there to Herman Moore. For an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, and we'll take you right to Atlanta, where the Falcons are lighting up the scoreboard early. Chris Miller, 38 yards on the dime to Michael Haynes, and it's a 14-0 Falcons lead over the Rams in the first quarter. Tim and Matt?
Well, that Atlanta offense, Greg, has been ready to get on track with some consistency. They're a dangerous team. Defensively, that's another matter.
Yeah, you know, I think they're more dangerous in that dome than they are away.
No question. They're an exciting team to watch anytime. 3rd down and 6 here. Rodney Peete interception. Oh!
That
Holland.
should be 6.
He dropped the ball. It's out of bounds. It'll be Green Bay ball at about the 2-yard line. Johnny Holland had to be a miscue on the route there. Peete threw it right at Johnny Holland.
Well, I think what happened was Johnny Holland must have run the best pattern out there. Watch Johnny Holland right here. Now, they just go to a straight zone drop. And he's looking for Herman Moore, trying to get behind him. He'll just take the drop. Now you're going to see Moore right there. See, he just throws it right to him. Now, this is why running backs run and linebackers don't. See this right here? That ball should have been tucked away. That should have been 6 points.
Boy, he was lucky it was knocked out of bounds by a Packer. But Holland with a big interception and a first down, Green Bay at the 3-yard line of Detroit. Maybe that's the president on the phone doing that.
That might be. We can't talk politics today, Tim.
First and goal. Workman to the 1-yard line. I meant the president of the Packers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Down to the 1. It'll be second and goal. Pritchett made the stop on him. They have yet to score a rushing touchdown, and is that the kind of thing a coach like Holmgren says, boy, I'm going to run it in here just because we need to do this?
No, Mike Holmgren is not a thickhead. He's a smart man. If he can run the football and have success doing it, they're going to do it. If he has to play action or pull it out of there, get outside, he's going to do that. 6 points is more important than breaking that string.
Workman diving. No sign. He did not get there. Good push from the defense and good linebacker play on the dive.
Now, the strength of this Detroit defense is right in the middle, so this kind of surprised me. You see Jerry Ball getting off right there, and here comes Spielman over the top, and there's Gibson. They're all in there. That's good, solid goal line defense.
Dennis Gibson got him up high, and of course that guy 93 grubbing around underneath. Touchdown, Harry Sidney. The former 49er. Been a big inspiration to this young Packer team. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings, and he dives it in.
Yeah, he gets in because he's been there before, Tim. Now, they just broke the string, and they bring it with a guy with great experience. Now, find the hole, get your shoulders squared, get over the line. That's all that matters. Your first effort doesn't get you there. Your second effort has to.
Chris Jackie for the point after. Don Mikowski, the holder. And the Packers, with the interception by Johnny Holland and the touchdown by Sidney, lead it 7-3. Here at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, in the first quarter, 3:20 remains. The Green Bay Packers have just taken the 7-3 lead on the touchdown by Harry Sidney, their first rushing touchdown of the season. And it followed the interception by linebacker Johnny Holland, taking it to the Lions' 4-yard line. Mel Gray is the deep man. There's the touchdown man, Harry Sidney, the veteran picked up from the San Francisco 49ers. Jackie kicking it again away from Mel Gray. And once more it will be Campbell from the 15. Out to the 22-yard line, and Mike Holmgren, Matt, made had no qualms about kicking it away from Mel Gray. He said, we'll do anything to keep it away from that guy.
Yeah, it's funny because Wayne Font said he can't believe that people are still kicking it to him. And that was echoed by Mike Holmgren. He said, I can't believe teams are actually kicking a ball to Mel Gray. He said, this guy is the most amazing returner I've ever seen.
And he was not embarrassed to say they would do anything. He said, that's Cromwell's job. I don't care what he does.
That's right.
But he's not to let Jackie get the ball to Gray. So Adrian White made the tackle at the 26-yard line. Sanders, screen, well covered. A gain of about 5. And for another NFL update, let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Tim, to the Superdome in New Orleans this time. Bobby Hebert right over the middle to Dalton Hilliard out of the backfield, who bulls his way into the end zone. 8-yard touchdown, 7-0. New Orleans leading Tampa Bay in the first. Tim?
Got a feeling that's going to be a long day for the Sam White company.
Yeah, old Sam's having a tough time down there.
Steve DeBerg, the quarterback today for Vinny Testaverde, who is struggling once again. Second and a long 4. Mike Hinnant and Jimmy Johnson, double tight ends in now for Detroit. Blocking for Sanders, who picks up 3, maybe 4. It'll be short of the first down by about a yard. Bernell Dent made the tackle, number 56.
They go right in the middle. You see this guy right here? That's Blake Miller. Talked to him before the game. Nervous as could be. said hi to me. He said, "How you doing?" Turned around and walked away. But you know what? Got nothing to be nervous about. The guy's playing tough inside. They're not afraid to go with them. They hand the ball. Barry takes it right back to Blake Miller.
Kevin Glover, hurt last week, broken leg, now on injured reserve, and as we said, only one starter from a year ago on that offensive line. Lomas Brown on left tackle. 3rd and a yard. Sanders takes it outside, has the first down. Buckley is there with a tackle along with Cecil, Dent, and Butler.
And that's what I like about Barry Sanders. The guy does everything and does it well. Looks inside, it's not there, bounces outside. He's not going to try to outspeed you. He knows he's got a yard. He just turns his squares his shoulders, and just, boom, pounds right into you. He can play a power game, can play a finesse game. That guy, to me, the best running back I have ever seen.
Barry Sanders, not at all disturbed by the lower numbers. He's such a team guy. He understands what the problems are. He's happy to have the tight ends blocking for him, however. First down. Pete deep for Perriman, incomplete, overthrown. Roland Mitchell, number 47, had the coverage on Brett Perriman. Pretty good rush this time by the Packers again.
Yeah, and that was a big concern for them. We have no pass rush, they said, and we're having young defensive backs. Watch Bennett up top here. He's going to come off that corner, and he's working against Conover. He's a young guy also. Gets that arm, keeps on coming, working. Boom. No, I'm sorry, that was Lomas Brown he was working on.
On the left side, one of the premier tackles.
Now, he's a sack leader, Tony Bennett, and the thing that surprises me about him, he's not a big guy. He's only 232 pounds, and he's one of those real wiry kind of guys, and he plays a strong game, too.
And here they had him show it down, and then he stood up. And they have to hurry again. Perriman. First down. A little flanker screen. Good-looking play, especially against that pressure. And it turns into a first down to midfield. Bennett and Kuntz made the stop.
Nice play, Tim. That was nice job by bringing the whole defense to the one side with the fake with Barry. They use Barry Sanders to pull that whole zone over, and then they go back and hit Perriman outside.
Brett Perriman now 27 straight games with a catch. They've got a solid core of receivers here now. It took them a while to develop that group. 35 catches for Perriman on the season. Sanders gets about 4, and we're going to run out of time here. The zeros are up. That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Green Bay Packers 7 and the Detroit Lions 3. That's Kevin Glover there, Matt, with a baseball hat on. I know you were down there talking to him, and he's not a happy camper with a broken leg.
Yeah, and he had surgery on it this week. And, I got to talk to him prior to the game, like you said. And what he said was, look, that's the breaks of the game. I'm happy I can still walk. I'm happy I'm living. I'll get healthy, and I'll get back in there.
Well, his teammates now with the youngster Blake Miller in Glover's spot of a 2nd and 6 in Green Bay territory, and a sack. Tony Bennett getting Rodney Peete. 2nd sack by the Packers. Loss of about 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. They've had problems here with quarterback sacks, and the reason is, look at that, Tim. Everybody's new. Lomas Brown, the only guy back. You got Bowens and Miller, Dallafor, and Conover. Now, Conover started from the beginning of the year, but they're having problems. The guy who's stepped up for him is Lomas Brown. He's been beat for 2 sacks already today.
Dennis McKnight is in right now, giving Ken Dallafor some time. They will alternate throughout the game, both of them playing hurt. 3rd down and 12. Screen again, dropped by Sanders. And Detroit will have to punt.
Well, that was well set up, Tim. Barry could have held on to that ball. He had some running room.
So first punt of the day by Jim Arnold. Make it his second, pardon me, at a 51-yarder on his first try. Above his average, which is a good average of 44. And Terrell Buckley is the return man, standing at the 11-yard line. Low snap handled by Arnold. Another good kick. Buckley Fair catches at the 11. And Green Bay will start from there with a 7-3 lead. His offensive line subject of much conversation here, and Miller of course got into the game last week when Kevin Glover suffered his broken leg, and on the very first play Sanders went for a touchdown. Miller said, I just remember I was blocking my man. I was on the ground. I saw some feet go by me and people started yelling. By then he was in the end zone. So that was nice. I never had that happen to me. I've never played with a great back like Barry. It was a nice moment for him. Meanwhile, Sanjay Beach and Sterling Sharp, the wide receivers, and they go to Sidney out of the backfield. And Sidney gets about 8 and brings it out to the 18-yard line. Dennis Gibson made the tackle there. It'll be second down and a long 4 for Green Bay. They are at their own 17. Robert Brooks now in at wide receiver. Number 87, the rookie from South Carolina. They'd like to see him step up and join Sharp as a real consistent threat. Favre up the middle of the tight end. Harris takes a real shot from Gibson, but holds on to the ball, and he'll be close to the first down. Spielman had him low. Gibson hit him high.
Yeah, and that's encouraging for Dennis Gibson. See, the one thing they said about Gibson is they really need him to get better. See, he said last year, he had a good, consistent year, but he's kind of fallen off. They need him to get fired up again. And that's two plays straight. Timmy made the play, and that's how you get back into it.
It is a first down. Green Bay at their own 22-yard line. Slot formation left. Workman. Forced out by William White, the safety, who picked that up well. Workman managed a 4-yard gain.
There's Jerry Ball. Now, Jerry Ball is probably one of the best nose guards in the National Football League, if not the best. What I have seen different with Jerry Ball this year is I see him kind of being a little bit more undisciplined this year than I've seen him in the past. When he is on his game, he's the best nose guard I've ever seen.
The governor, his coach calls him, 300 plus.
He doesn't miss many meals, I'll tell you that.
The Lions send in Harry Colin into the secondary on this nickel situation. Draw play. Workman nearly stripped away on the tackle and nearly dropped on the exchange. A 14-yard gain nonetheless.
So you want to be a nose guard in the National Football League, Tim. First of all, you get doubled. Now you got to remember, I got to stay low, because if I don't, ouch. Now see, he's just going to take in. They're just working off of Jerry Ball. Here he comes. See, by him getting pushed deep, that doesn't allow Chris Spielman to get over there. And that opens the hole.
So Green Bay out to their 38-yard line with a player down, injured, the Lions. And we'll be back at the Silverdome in just a moment. Harry Colin, number 21, second-year man from Missouri, picked up as a free agent this year from New England. First down, Green Bay at their own 39-yard line. They lead 7-3. Favre sacked. Spielman is there. The charge led by Ball initially, and Jamison is there with Spielman to pull him down.
He had nowhere to throw that ball because he got all kinds of pressure. Watch Jerry Ball inside. See, slipped inside. He was putting his back that last play. You know what that did? That got him pretty upset. You don't want to upset a guy like Jerry Ball. Yeah, Jerry Ball's one of those players. You walk up to the line of scrimmage and say, Jerry, you know, you're looking good. You're having a great year. You know, how's your family? How's things going? You never want to get guys like that mad.
Ball wants to take a few rushes from the outside. He thinks he can do it from defensive end. Wayne Fonts is not so sure. Workman, he's got some running room behind Rich Moran. And he may have a first down. Melvin Jenkins got him. And it is a first down. So the Packers on a good drive here out to midfield.
And Tim, that's the second time in a row that Melvin Jenkins has made a great play. Now, he had Rich Moran in front of him to run him down, and that's a 290-pounder on a 190-pounder. And see what he does? He just buys some time. Now, watch at the end. Now, here comes Moran. Get in front of him. Get the arms. Hey, you cannot let Vince Workman get by you. You've got to make the play. If I've got to give up 4 more yards, that's fine, but he's tackled.
And Vince Workman, meanwhile, having another fine game. Darrell Thompson, they had hoped to have back from his injured reserve quad muscle injury, but he re-injured it in practice this week. So Workman continues to carry the load. And it's Jenkins again.
And I'll tell you what, he is playing. I'll tell you what, you look down and you see corner force. Melvin Jenkins is writing a book today. That's the best replays for a corner I've seen in a long, long time, because he's done it play after play.
Word on William White, a sprained ankle. Always better to hear than a knee injury, but it's uncertain as to whether he'll come back. Workman now 28 yards on 5 carries as you look at William White. Kevin Scott has come into the Lions secondary on the nickel. 2nd and 10 from the 50-yard line.
Now, Tim, I'm going to be surprised if they don't start throwing the ball to Sterling Sharp.
Beach, Brooks, and Sharp. And Brett Favre did not like the look he got from the Lions and takes time out. 9:55 remaining first half. Green Bay leads it 7-3. Green Bay with a 7-3 lead. Tim Ryan and Matt Millen at the Silverdome. 9:55 remains here in the first half. Young Brett Favre, 6 out of 7 passing. Not a lot of yardage, but he hasn't made any mistakes. Complete. Robert Brooks, the South Carolina rookie, for a gain of about 8.
Yeah, and you're expecting Robert Brooks really to be the guy who takes things off of Sterling Sharp. And the way to do it is get the ball to him quick. And you're not going to get it to him any quicker than that ball that Brett Favre threw him. That was a bullet.
Now, guys like New York Jets general manager Dick Steinberg and our commentator, former Ram coach John Robinson, talk about Favre's physical skills like Terry Bradshaw. They're reminded of Bradshaw when they watch this youngster. He's got enormous potential.
He also reminds me of Archie Manning. Same kind of build, same way he throws the ball.
4 wide receivers in. They go to the run. And Workman with a first down to the 35-yard line.
Tim, what you're seeing right now is a Green Bay offense that has a Detroit defense completely off balance. They're throwing when they want to throw, mixing the run inside, mixing it outside, short pass, down deep in the middle. Mike Holmgren right now has them right where he wants them.
Kelvin Pritchett made that tackle. There's Holmgren. 10th play of this drive to the Lions 35.
And this is a graphic that Mike Holmgren loves to see. He wants to see that rushing yardage come up, because that's going to really force their passing game to work even better.
And keep their 24th ranked defense off the field. Broken up by Jenkins, intended for Brooks.
Tim, that is the perfect example of what Mike Holmgren said he cannot do. See, what he has right now, he's got the receiver wide open. Now, he's going to have the back come underneath, and he has the sure thing. Watch him as he comes down. Now, he has the sure guy open right down below. He's going to come. Keep it running, guys. He's going to have right down here. See this right here? This is open. That's a sure thing. This guy is covered. Now, he believes his arm too much. He said this is the tough thing. He thinks he can get it all the way in. You take the open guy and don't force it.
And Favre, the first to admit he's learning with every play in the National Football League. 2nd down. Play action again. And he is hit by Pritchett. A flag down. Kelvin Pritchett put the lick on him.
There is no foul on the play.
I was wondering about that. Thank you, Jerry Mark.
Incompleted pass.
Yeah, I was waiting for Jerry. I know he loves that camera. He's going to give us an explanation.
I was going to wonder a whole lot about that call if he was going to call it on Pritchett, who simply put a good hit on the quarterback.
8 minutes left in the half. They have not thrown the ball to Sterling Sharp. this amazes me.
Tried to there, but it was a little too late. And I think Sharp may have thought that they were going to call the quarterback for intentional grounding, but they did not correctly so. Third down. Far for Sharp, out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, that's the first attempt to this guy, and that surprises me, and here's the reason. When you talk to Mike Holmgren or Sherman Lewis, Sherman being the offensive coordinator, they say, look, we've got one guy who really can play on this offense. One guy who's as good as there is, and that's Sterling Sharp. We've got to get the ball in his hands. Now you got 8 minutes left and a half, and they've only tried it one time. That surprises me.
Chris Jackie will attempt the field goal, a 53-yarder. Now remember, we're indoors here at the Silver Dome. Jackie with a 51-yarder to his credit this year. And 53 is his best ever distance. With room to spare from 53 yards, Jackie widens the lead. 10-3, Green Bay. Jackie's 53-yard field goal tied a club record for the Packers that he also had shared with Jan Stenerud, who set it back in '81, and it's the third time he's kicked a 53-yarder. And he will again try to keep it away from Mel Gray. Kicks a high one. Gray has this one and fair catches it at the 22-yard line. Well, coming up, doubleheader action on CBS today. The Eagles at Dallas, a highly anticipated matchup among those. And Philadelphia with a chance to catch them. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I'll tell you, the last time those two teams played, I said what I saw was the Dallas Cowboy offensive line that blocked that Philadelphia front for the first time. I like Dallas in that game.
Well, the Eagles murdered them the last time they played in Philly. First down and 10. Lions, Sanders for 3. Matt Brock and George Kuntz made the tackle.
You know, Tim, what we're seeing here, what we saw here in the first half from that Dallas offense is something that Dan Henning said was a real problem. I'm sorry, the Detroit offense. They have not been able to sustain drives. They get something going and it falls apart. You know, we get a first down, get another first down, then we die. Dan Henning said we've got to be able to sustain them in order to have, you know, get some success going here.
And they feel better about what they did last week against Tampa Bay, but Green Bay so far not giving them much. That's complete to Herman Moore. First down to the 35-yard line. Moore is buried there.
Now what you have, you know, an offensive line that's been all patched up, and you have one guy that you got to step up, and here he is, Lomas Brown. Now he's been beat twice. Now what does an all-pro do? You regroup and you go back to basics, and there it is. See, get your hands on him, keep your head down, and don't stop. Get after him the whole time. Let him know you're after him. Lomas Brown will regroup.
So the Lions with a first down at their 35, trying to sustain a drive here, down 10-3, 6:42 to go, first down. Sanders, and he is stuffed behind the line by Kuntz. Now, the Packers really like this guy, George Kuntz. They moved him ahead of Bryce Popp at left outside linebacker. First-year man from East Carolina who played in the World League. Not a well-known guy, a free agent in Atlanta before he went to the World League, but he can run, and he showed it there.
Yeah, he can run. He's got his 6 tackles today, and the main reason is he's very confident in what he can do. When he showed up, he said, look, just give me a chance, and I'll make it happen. He's getting his chance today, and he's responding.
And his job today is to spy Barry Sanders. You'll just watch him keeping an eye on number 20 on every play. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Moore as Pete really drilled that one. Matt, when the Packers told us they would have Kuntz spying on Sanders, you were a little bit surprised. That's kind of unusual.
Yeah, and the reason it's unusual, Tim, as we talked about, is everybody has a spy, but it's always for the running quarterback. Now, Rodney Peete, he's a guy who can run, and they readily admit that they're going to give that up, but we are not going to let Barry Sanders get the ball in his hands, running or passing.
Kuntz is the guy who's going to just track him around. Now they take him out on the passing down here. Third down and 14. Peete up the middle, incomplete. Not a good throw from Rodney Peete. Under pressure again, intended for Moore, and the Bluebirds are out. Sebastian Barry, a rookie from Liberty, and Bryce Pop, number 95, providing the pressure.
You know, it's hard to throw the football when you got people pounding on you. Now, they knew that coming in because of the patched-up offensive line, but you got to find a way to get it done.
Green Bay blitzing more than they normally do, and it's paying off. Arnold standing at his 17-yard line. Buckley at the Green Bay 24. Big play for the rookie to the 26-yard line of Detroit. There's an injured Packer down, but no flags apparent, and a big play for Buckley. 5:31 to go, second quarter.
Buckley says there's one guy who I really like to emulate, and that's Deion Sanders. Now you watch him catch the ball, put the little move on, turn up the field, and turn on the jets. Now when you got speed, you use them. And now right here, this look, that's Deion Sanders right there. You can't teach that. You turn on the jets, you cannot teach speed. Terrell Buckley has that.
But can he hit the curveball?
Well, I don't know. Sanders wasn't hitting it too well this year. Tell you what, Deion would like to be able to run like him today.
48-yard punt return to the 31-yard line. So the Packers here in the Silverdome taking it to the hometown Lions. Edgar Bennett, Buckley's teammate from Florida State. Yeah, number 4 pick.
I spoke with Gil Haskell before the game, and he said, look, the time is now. It's time for Edgar Bennett to get his shot. He's done everything we've asked him in practice. He's worked hard. He's learned the system. And the guy got some magic. He gets out there, has a little movement. We're going to get him the ball.
6 foot, 225-pounder. And remember, we mentioned that they had hoped to get Darrell Thompson back in action, their number 2 choice in 1990, coming off injured reserve. But he re-injured his quadricep muscle in practice this week. Second down and 3. Bennett again. He's met at the line. This time the ball comes loose. Ray Crockett. Cornerback Ray Crockett picked it up on the fly on the fumble by Bennett. Favre made the tackle on Crockett.
And when you ask Holmgren or you ask Sherman Lewis why they haven't played him to this point, there's the reason. They're afraid that this could happen and it would get in his head and it would hurt him.
4 Lions made the hit on him. And Detroit gets the ball back. Green Bay's second turnover, both on fumbles. Pete on first down, the screen to Sanders. Close to a first down. Archambault made the tackle.
That's a great job by Lester Archambault coming back. And that's a sign of a good defensive line. See, when that ball's thrown, that defensive line should turn and get to the ball. Now, there is no excuse on any level of football to not hustle. That's something that you have to have good habits, and hustle takes no talent. You just go get it.
Second and less than a yard. Draw play for Sanders. Good play by Holland. Holland had one shot at him. Sanders gave him a move, and Holland stayed with him and still prevented the first down.
A great job by Johnny Holland. Now, you're going to watch George Kuntz right here. See, his job is to spy this man, Barry Sanders. Now, they can fake the draw. It won't make a difference. He's coming right to him. See? Oh, they ran with a blitz. That was an inside blitz. Now, Kuntz stays with him. Holland does a good job. You know, that's one of those plays. Kuntz is on him the whole time. Holland's on him the whole time. They come with the blitz. Nice play.
Lost about a yard. It'll be third down, a yard and a half. Play action. And blocked by Jimmy Johnson, the tight end. Pete had the ball there on a good-looking play.
Boy, he had that wide open, and Jimmy Johnson they picked up from Washington last year. Tight end who can catch the ball. We want to sustain drives. We just shot ourselves in the foot.
So Arnold will have to punt. The Packers, with 2 good downs, then left Johnson alone, got a Detroit error and a Detroit punt. Buckley back, ran it 48 yards on his last try.
Now look at him back there. You can see the confidence starting to come out of him, Tim. Get that little hop going. And
Dandy punt. It's going to be down at the end. Oh, what a great try by Jenkins. Let's see. No, it is a touchback.
Yeah, he took that one little step that got him in the end zone.
A discussion by the officials.
And let's take a watch here. Melvin Jenkins does a great job of getting down there now. He's got the ball. He's got control. Now.
Right there.
Ooh, right there.
Yeah.
That gets him in the end zone.
He was trying desperately to keep himself from falling in there, but he didn't get himself planted. Referee Jerry Markwright will make it official.
We have illegal touching on number 24. Kicking team went out of bounds. Came in to touch the ball, and we also have a touchback. We're going to get the option.
We're going to get the option.
Well, Jenkins, we did not see him going out of bounds en route to making that good attempt at the goal line to keep the ball at the 1. So that's the first infraction, the only infraction.
And now watch him down here. See, now the rule says once you go out of bounds, you cannot touch the ball. You cannot down it. Now Jenkins getting forced outside. And right out there he stepped. See, he stepped right out of bounds.
Illegal touching by an out-of-bounds player. Number 24 kicking team. Penalty is declined. Touchback. First down on the 20.
They caught him, and that's a good job by the officials right there catching that.
So the Lions elected to take the penalty and the touchback. Green Bay will start from their 20-yard line. Wayne Funtz, and we note he has a new shirt on today. Not quite as colorful or causing as much comment as last week's effort, when he looked a little bit like Winston Churchill wrapped in the Union Jack.
He did look like him. He said, look, I have no control over that. He said, I go in here. They set 5 or 6 shirts out. I just picked the first one that comes. So he said, now this one's a little bit more subdued. Last week's, he did. He looked like Winston. He looked like the British flag.
Only thing missing was a cigar. First down from the 20. Vince Workman having another workman-like day. 400 yards rushing coming into this contest.
And that makes it even more of a surprise here as you come down to 2.5-minute mark in the first half, and they're up 10-3. They have not done well on the road, this Packer team.
Workman with 37 yards on 7 carries to this point. They've been the forgotten man under the Lindy Infante regime. Did not ever get a whole lot of work as a starter. 2nd and 8. Favre forcing one, almost picked off by Jenkins, who's been everywhere today on defense.
Melvin Jenkins is having one great football game for himself this afternoon.
Mark Spindler had the heat on Favre.
You ask him to cover, he covers. You ask him to tackle, he tackles. You ask him to play special teams, he does special teams. Melvin Jenkins all over the place.
Favre now 7 of 12 passing and has a 3rd down facing him. 3rd and 8 as Sanjay Beach comes in and the tight end Harris goes out. We'll have 3 wide receivers. Favre has missed on his last 4 attempts.
Let's keep our eyes on Sterling Sharp. This is a down for him.
Sharp in motion. Workman. Good defense. Flag down in the backfield. Favre took quite a shot from Pritchett. Workman stopped short of the first down, a gain of only 3 or 4 yards.
And they got him.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 94, defense. 15 yards. First down.
Huge penalty as the Lions had made the defensive play upfield, but Kelvin Pritchett takes a roughing the passer penalty, the second-year man from Mississippi.
That's a tough penalty. They had him stopped right there, and that's going to come back to hurt him now. Kelvin Pritchett, the #1 pick from last year, they expect big things from him. They expect him to get the pass rush, but what you don't expect in a situation like this is to get the penalty.
We've reached the 2-minute warning here at the Silver Dome. We'll be back in a moment.
Today, and this, you know, we talked at the top of the game, Tim, that this is their whole offense. Now, this is a surprise. You've gone through 30 minutes of football. Man has not caught a pass. Now, part of it is the pressure that they've been getting, and part of it is the fact that they've been doubling him because Sterling Sharp, everybody knows, not only us, Detroit knows he's their offense.
#2 pass receiver in the entire NFL, leading the conference. First down from the 40-yard line. Packers have the lead. And to 3. Play action. Going for Sharp. Overthrown, incomplete. Crockett had the coverage.
Yeah, that's Ray Crockett right there on. You know, this was interesting. Right at the stop. Now, he puts his hand on his helmet as if to say, look, I got him manned up. Get me the ball. Now, this is what Sterling does very well. He uses his body very well. You see that? Just that little bit of bump created 3 yards of separation. The ball wasn't there right on target, but he got open. That's the second time they've thrown to him today, but no receptions.
Great receiver, great personality, loves to play, fun guy. Brother Shannon having a great year in Denver. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. There's Sharp. Good spin move from Crockett, has the first down. That's a sample of his talent.
And Tim, that's exactly what we just talked about in the commercial. We said, just throw him the ball in a quick. Give him a smoke, because what he does very well is run with the ball after he catches. Now, you give him a cushion, we're going to take it. This is what I do very well, says Sterling Sharp. I run with it after I catch the ball, as good or better than anybody in the league.
See that little strap he has on, holding his hat on his head. He's a hat guy, cares about hats. He's got a whole collection of baseball hats of various kinds. He decorates them. Got 2 rooms full of them.
But you can only wear one at a time, you know?
Member of the hat squad. 1st and 10. Boom. Sharp again in the middle this time. Another first down. Battling to the 30.
Tim, not only are we aware that he wasn't getting the ball, that man was aware he wasn't getting the ball. 10-3 Detroit.
Stand by their magnificent 7. We'll see it again today on the NFL Today at halftime.
It was also 7 unmagnificent calls against that magnificent 7.
Yeah, Joe Bugle's Cardinals kept pounding away, trying to push it in, and the Eagle just pushed them out. First down, Green Bay. They have the lead and the ball at the 30-yard line. Ample time to get more points. Flaring it out for Workman, and a little too far with Gibson, the linebacker, in pursuit. Talking about Sharp at practice. He always is a bit of a clown at practice. In fact, Holmgren has tried to kind of calm that down a little bit. He got away with murder under Lindy Infante. But he's always out there working on everybody. And of course, he likes the rookies, picks on the rookies. And Corey Harris, a rookie receiver, when he dropped an easy pass at practice the other day, Sharp said, way to knock it down, Corey.
That's right.
And when Buckley gets beat, he loves to work on that kid. Harris, the tight end, beat Buckley on a deep route. Sharp yelled over to Buckley, way to cover, Buck. Up the middle, Workman. Not much. Good tackle by Jamison. The hole was there and closed quickly by the linebacker. George Jamison, number 58.
George Jamison, they're the MVP of their defense last year. And then they want him to turn it up a notch. He's not where he was last year, and they needed him to turn it up.
And now a big third down play here. 1:03 remaining in the half. Packers with a 10-3 lead. Lions don't want to give them anything more here. So defensively, a huge down. Sidney. Harry Sidney first down to the 15.
Tim, how important is Sterling Sharp in your passing game? I'm going to show you exactly how. Now watch Sterling Sharp down here. See, now he's being doubled by here and here. And he's going to come down and clear this whole area. That's going to allow Harry Sidney to come and get open. Now, it's not that Harry Sidney runs a great route or anything. Look, right down here. See the double? Cleared the whole area. Nice little move inside by Sid. First down.
At the 15-yard line, so the Packers now with 43 seconds remaining, a chance to widen their lead. Harris, good catch, touchdown. The big tight end Jackie Harris ran over Harry Cullen and Ray Crockett, 240-pounder, and he made a fine catch.
He made a great catch, and he just showed that some of that Pro Bowl potential that they think he has. There's the ball. Boom. Nice hand catch. Poor job by Ray Crockett. That should have been a tackle made right there. At least should have been a fight, but kudos for Jackie Harris.
Well, Harris took the starting spot away from veteran Ed West, and it's because of those kinds of skills. Chris Jackie's point after. 17-3, the Packers lead it. Jackie Harris, pardon me.
He reminds you of Jackie Smith, though, doesn't he?
Well, he's a big guy, 6'3", 240-pounder out of Northeast Louisiana, and the Packers going 80 yards in 10 plays, and then the 14-yard scoring strike from Brett Favre to Jackie Harris, and a 17-3 lead. So the Lions will be heading to the locker room here at home, trying to conjure up their success of a week ago against Tampa Bay, but having an uphill battle in the second half. Chris Jackie. Mel Gray. Slips and slides his way out to the 36-yard line where Tim Houck made the tackle. 30 seconds left for Pete and company. Green Bay struggling on offense in the scoring department, only 90 points in total coming into this game.
And averaging only 13. They've already gone that by 4, and they've beaten that by 4. But Mike Holmgren says they think they have the potential to score a lot of points.
Jeff Campbell, flanker screen, good for only about 3 yards. Roland Mitchell tripped him up. Sebastian Barry buried him.
Dun-dun-dun.
Timeout. After a gain of about 4, it'll be 2nd and 6 at the 39.
Now, he's not had a bad first half. He's forced a couple passes, and that's what Mike Holmgren is talking to him about. But, you know, he can be a little bit more calm right now because he's up by 14. It's a lot of stuff to go through as a rookie quarterback, and really he is a rookie. Brought over in a trade last year from Atlanta. Thrown right in, but you know, he says he's got the shoulders to hold it, carry it, and he wants the responsibility. Mike Holmgren's giving it to him.
Four wide receivers. Pete rolling out of traffic. Incomplete, out of bounds. Herman Moore made the catch.
He made the catch, and Terrell Buckley came up and said it, and did exactly what he said he was going to do. And you could see the sidelines when he made the hit. Everybody got excited. That's the Terrell Buckley they want. They want a guy who plays an all-around football game.
Holding number 67, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Ken Dallafor charged with holding, and so the Lions are backed up in their final effort here in this first half. 16 seconds left. They're now back at the 29. It'll be 2nd and 17 as we look at Buckley, who's having himself a fine first half. Taking a little heat for not being a tough enough tackler in the first few games of the season in his rookie year.
Still got to remember, Tim, that he's just a rookie. Got a lot to learn.
Sanders screen. Knocked out by Cecil. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10 with 7 seconds left.
Detroit Lions are going to have to go in at halftime. Now, it's an understatement to say they're going to have to regroup, but they've got to figure out exactly why they haven't been able to sustain.
Lions take a timeout. And this is the 24th ranked defense in the league, the Green Bay Packers, but they have so far stymied the Lions throughout this first half.
And I think defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes has done a very good job in this first half of mixing the zone, the blitz, the man, putting it all together. Now, they knew going in that they were going to have it. Here's Ray Rhodes right there. And he gets high marks, incidentally, from Dan Henning. He said he's really done a very good job with this defense. But he's done a good job of mixing in the first half. And most importantly, he's been able to contain the guy that they thought was really going to be a problem. That's Barry Sanders. The other matchup that we talked about was Herman Moore. Now, Terrell Buckley has come through with a good first half. The key will be consistency into the second half.
Packers, remember, today without Brian Noble, their fine run stopper, who was hurt last week. What appeared at the time, it might have been a real serious injury, and everybody in football so pleased that it's just a badly bruised back, and Noble could be back even next week, but I'm sure they're not going to rush Brian. Valuable commodity. 3rd down and a sack. Bryce Kopp.
Tell you what, you just go into the half with a boost for Green Bay, and you just got kicked in the rear end if you're a Detroit Lion.
3 sacks for the Green Bay Packers. Still a second on the clock. And now the zeros come up, and the Lions head to the locker room amid boos from their unfaithful here at the Silverdome. Mike Holmgren not showing it, but has to feel very good about that first half performance in a 17-3 lead. At the end of the first half, the Green Bay Packers 17, the Detroit Lions 3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Canon, the #1 copier company, and the new power in high-volume copying. And by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. The wines of Ernest and Julio Gallo. And by Burger King, where you can get it your way, right away, at Burger King now.
Back at the Silverdome, Tim Ryan with Matt Millen, where the Green Bay Packers hold a halftime lead. And you have to go immediately to their good defensive effort, Matt, because they've had 4 sacks in the first half. They're not a big team defensively, number 24 in the league.
Well, I think the key is what you just said. They got pressure, and they got it early. They started off Bennett getting a couple sacks early, and that really took Detroit out of their game, especially the passing game. Last week they came out and they threw the ball up the field. This week we haven't seen it at all.
Well, and Holmgren, of course, said we got to stop Barry Sanders. We start with that, and they've held him to 24 yards.
24 yards. Now, if you're going to go into a game plan, you're going to say, if we can hold.
Use Valvoline. The wines of Ernest and Julio Gallo. And by Burger King, where you can get it your way, right away, at Burger King now.
Back at the Silverdome, Tim Ryan with Matt Millen, where the Green Bay Packers hold a halftime lead. And you have to go immediately to their good defensive effort, Matt, because they've had 4 sacks in the first half. They're not a big team defensively, number 24 in the league.
Well, I think the key is what you just said. They got pressure, and they got it early. They started off Bennett getting a couple sacks early, and that really took Detroit out of their game, especially the passing game. Last week they came out and they threw the ball up the field. This week we haven't seen it at all.
Well, and Holmgren, of course, said we got to stop Barry Sanders. We start with that, and they've held him to 24 yards.
24 yards. Now, if you're going to go into a game plan, you're going to say, if we can hold Barry Sanders to 24 yards in one half, we're doing a great job.
Sanders 10 rushes for 24 in the first half, and Detroit just 71 yards of offense altogether. So the Lions have an uphill climb, down 17-3 as we begin the second half, and Green Bay will have the ball first.
And that's a nice return, Tim. That takes it out to the 35. The penalty.
Hanson's kickoff went out at about the 5-yard line, so they'll start from the 35 as Holmgren readies Brett Favre, his young quarterback. And there are the numbers for the first half.
Only 4 first downs, 24 yards. Right, you know, the numbers for either side aren't that great, but there's 17 points on the board for the Packers, and that's 4 more than they've been averaging for the season.
And despite the 2 turnovers by the Green Bay Packers, they are in command at this point, 17-3. So this is a big defensive series for the Detroit Lions because they've started the Packers at the Green Bay 35. Lions need to get the ball immediately. Favre throwing on first down to Harris. The tight end has a first down.
And he's got no pressure there, Tim. Got a lot of time. Now when they started this, watch this man right here. That's Tootie Robbins. They got him in plan B. He's been beat up. He's been banged up. Mike Holmgren said, look, he's held together by baling wire. But you know what? No pressure whatsoever. Tootie Robbins, one of the old-time guys who knows how to play week in and week out.
This week he's favoring a groin muscle injury. They don't even practice him during the week, similar to Ken Dallafor of the Lions. Just let those guys have a little freedom from all of that midweek work and hits. First down. Workman had a good hole and gets about 8.
Yeah, and guess where they ran again? See, they're not afraid at all. We're going to go right behind Tootie Robbins. Yeah, he can pass block and he can run block. Now they're going to take this rookie to school. See, work that inside, get him forced outside, guys through, now bury him. See, one thing you got to remember about Tootie Robbins, every time you see him, his pants get higher and higher and higher. Pretty soon, Tim, he's going to be tucking in his armpits.
Well, they list him at 315.
And they're lying.
That's a generous estimate on the low side. Second down and 2. Workman. Another huge hole and a first down to the 36-yard line. Packers make a statement to start the second half.
Yeah, and the reason they're making that statement is because they think that the strength of this Detroit defense is right down middle. Ball, Spielman, Blades. And what they're doing is they're attacking that right now.
And the Lions, without William White, who was injured back in the first half with a sprained ankle, has not returned. Harry Colon is in there, number 21. Second-year man from Missouri, came over as a free agent from New England this year.
I am going to be very surprised if that persists because that man, Chris Spielman, he takes this personally.
Green Bay with a first down. Workman again. And another good hole. Melvin Jenkins prevents him from turning upfield. A late flag on the play after the 5-yard gain.
They have their discussion. Melvin Jenkins, though, regardless of the flag, has played a fine football game to this play, and he will. Melvin Jenkins really, they say he's their best cover guy, and we've seen today that he's a great tackler. Well, I shouldn't say great. I hate to say great. But today, he's been tackling fairly well. How's that?
That's good.
Face mask foul, number 24. 5-yard face mask that results in a first down.
You can't be a great tackler if you have to use the iron, you see.
Well, the number one thing you got to remember about tackling, you see him get up there, it slides off. Well, he held on to it pretty good. But the number one thing is tackling. In tackling, you know, they talk about keeping the good base, getting your head up, throwing the arms, roll your hips. All that stuff is great. But the main thing is to make sure he's down when the play's over. and that's what Melvin Jenkins did.
He's played a fine game to this point, no doubt, but the Packers are rolling here to the 26-yard line with a 5-yard penalty tacked on. Quick hitch, incomplete. Not a good throw from Favre, and it might have been tipped. It was so low. Beach, the intended receiver, had no chance.
Yeah, it was off quick, and the reason why is Chris Spielman. We talked about taking things personally. He'll take it personally. Now we got a blitz. Now I got to get there. If I'm a backer and my number's called, I've got to get there. So he goes underneath, and there he is, gets the pressure. This guy loves football. He loves the game. Now, look at, I want to play double-digit years. I want to do some coaching, and then you die. now, that's Chris Spielman in a nutshell right there. He said, look, I've been watching film since I've come out of the womb, and I love football.
Sterling Sharp on second down. Another flag down, perhaps another face mask to turn it into another first down. He was short by a yard.
Yeah, and Tim, did you see that at the end of the play? See, this is a guy who's is in complete control.
Number 39, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ray Crockett.
Watch. Now he knows. Here's the fact. He's still in bounds. He's still running. He knows he's still. Now watch. Before he's out, he looks right for the official. Look, I'm in control. I'm going to get the mic. Now there you go. Yeah, see, you had my face mask. Throw the flag.
He was lobbying for 15 yards, actually. Got 5 and a first down.
Players like Sterling Sharp are rare. They're just freaks. Every now and then one comes along, and when you get him, boy, you latch on to him.
Yeah, he's a superstar. First down, the Packers driving and threatening. Workman, incomplete. Got a hit from Crockett, could not hold on.
And there was a ball that thing had some heat on it. And it got out there in a hurry. Now, Vince Workman's got to know that that ball is going to be coming that way. Now, when we spoke to Sterling Sharp about what kind of ball Brett Favre throws, he said it's not the kind of ball that you can go up and catch with your hands. You got to make sure you get your whole body in front of it, because it's going to go through your hands, but it's only going to dent your body.
He's got some real zip. Favre, strong arm, has thrown it 82 yards in practice just for fun. Workman. Ray Crockett comes up, holding him to no gain. 2 good defensive plays in a row by the Lions.
Yeah, that's a good play by Crockett coming up, but that was a poor read right there.
He had pressure from Jerry Ball up the middle.
Yeah, and he had the whole inside coming back. Now Ray Crockett makes the play. Now here you go. I can catch. Now I'm asked to block. Now you get your hands on him. You know, generally you just get in their way. Now Ray Crockett made his mind up. He's going to make that play. See right there, he's talking to him. So you ain't going my way.
Third down. This is another huge down here for the Lions and their defensive boss, Woody Wiedenhofer. 3 wide receivers in. Draw play to Workman. Stopped at the 7-yard line. So it's field goal time for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, they shoved it down their throat, Tim, but when they had to stop them from getting to 6, they came through. Now, that's a negative that they came out and get some points, but you got to work off the positive. You got to find something positive when you get to the sideline so you have something to work off.
Jackie has a 53-yarder to his credit today, back early in the second quarter. This is a 25-yard attempt. And it is good. But a flag is down on the play.
You know, Tim, as I'm looking at this game, I see a really flat Detroit team. And that's
the point is good. We have an offside, number 92 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards and forced on the kickoff. That's
Mark Spindler, number 92. And so it is a 20-3 lead, Green Bay. Dan Henning with a headset on, the offensive coordinator. And they have to be a frustrated pair right now. 20-3 Green Bay lead in Pontiac. The Lions are always tough at home, and they got off to a 1-5 start, and they don't have a lot of history working for them, even though they won last week to get to 2-5.
You know, Tim, they said that regardless, we're 2-5, we still have confidence. But they are not playing like a team that's confident, and they're not playing with any urgency. If you're on the sideline right now, if you're Chris Spielman or Jerry Ball or somebody, one of their acknowledged leaders, you better start jumping in people's faces. You can lead by example, but sometimes you just got to start grabbing some throats.
Well, and that defense let the Packers start the second half with a 57-yard drive, 10 plays, a field goal, 4:55 robbed from the clock. And that is not the way to start the second half. Jackie's high kickoff, trying to keep it away from Gray, and Gray again takes the fair catch. He's done that twice on kickoffs,
right.
And each time he has looked at a little real estate and said, why did I do that?
Well, I think that one he really wishes he had back.
Well, next Saturday we have golf action for you. The Amoco Centel Championship, 3:30 Eastern Time. And in fact, our director Artie Kempner will be down there bringing you golf action. You'll be seeing players like Hale Irwin, Gary McCord, Bobby Watkins, Fuzzy Zeller, defending champion Jim Thorpe, all next weekend here on CBS Sports. Those are top PGA Tour players in their 40s. Kind of a special event and a good one. First down to the 22-yard line. Barry Sanders with flags flying and an open field tackle on him. A good stop by Vinnie Clark with flags down and a holding signal against the Lions.
You know, Tim, I think some days you wake up and it's the wrong day. I think Detroit woke up right now and it's the wrong day.
Holding number 67, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ken Dallafor, the much wounded Warrior, 32-year-old veteran at right guard, picks up the holding call.
Now, he'll fight you. And there's a guy right there, you know, he got the holding call, but he's going to do everything he can to get something going. And that's the attitude that's got to get through that whole offense right now.
Short of the first down, but a good effort. We'll leave it second and about 3. For another NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, in New Orleans, Dalton Hilliard scored his second touchdown of the day. This one, a great effort from 17 yards out. 6 Tampa Bay Bucks try to stop him. They can't do it. 17-7. New Orleans leads the Bucks in the third, Tim.
All right, Greg. Well, the New Orleans Saints, a tough football team on both sides of the ball. First down, Lions. The ball came loose, but it's apparently whistled dead.
Yeah.
Out to the 38 of Detroit. 2 consecutive passes by Rodney Peete on the mark.
Now the referee, he pointed to the ground. That ball's down. And they're going to move the chains. Look, this is what they've got to do. We got to get it going. If we got to throw the ball, you throw the ball. You open up that offense. Now Kuntz is still spying on Barry Sanders, so that's going to open up somebody.
Meanwhile, Larry Tharp, number 71, has come in at right tackle for the Lions. Scott Conover bothered with a persistent ankle problem and getting some relief from Tharp at the moment. Sanders. Barry Sanders with another scintillating 10-yarder. Holland and Cecil finally got him after he broke 2 or 3 tackles en route.
Now they go 2 straight passes. Now they're going to come back and they're going to give you that draw. Now here's Pete. Hand the ball to Barry. Let him do something. Yeah, I make one miss. But Bryce Pop is so tentative because he doesn't want to get faked out. He just goes right up inside. Now there's Buckley with his chance. And Barry goes right through him. You got to feed off that right now. He talked about that earlier. Got to feed off the emotion of a play like that. Say, hey, Barry, here's the ball. You take it. Get us going.
They mark him just short of the first down. It's just a few inches required, and the Lions send in Mike Hinnant, a big tight end, 280-pounder, along with Jeff Campbell, a wide receiver. The ball is at the 48-yard line of Detroit. Word in from the Houston-Pittsburgh game, where the Oilers have taken a 13-7 lead over the Steelers, that Warren Moon is left with a possible concussion, and Cody Carlson is in replacing the great Warren Moon, and Carlson passed to Webster Slaughter for the go-ahead touchdown.
Did I see the Jets whitewashing Miami?
Yes, you did. Second and short. And they throw. Deep sideline to Perriman, incomplete. Perriman did a nice job there of preventing a possible interception. Buckley had the coverage.
Yeah, Buckley had
off the mark.
Right, but he got locked up man to man, and that's something they wanted to see. Let's go right after the rookie. Now, this is what Terrell Buckley does very well. See, the guy can run. Good defense. He looks when the ball's in the air. Brett Perriman almost makes a spectacular catch, but hey, Buckley comes back at the end to get his hand in there. That's well played on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think Perriman saw that Buckley had a better shot at it than he did. He made a good play to leap up and knock it loose. So it leaves third and short. I like that call, though, when you've only got a football to go. Now they'll give it to Sanders, and he's got the first down. And a little bit more. Johnny Holland made the stop on him. Holland glad to wrap him up. Holland says playing Sanders is like playing a water bug on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, and you know what? He's quietly turning in the best year of his career. And I think this defensive scheme, which I'm pretty familiar with, we played this in San Francisco, this is a perfect match for Johnny Holland. They don't expect him to go bang in there all the time. You know, he's only 235 pounds, so he's not going to be taking on the 300-pounders. But they let him run to the football, and that's what he does very well. He'll find the ball, and he'll get the tackle.
Had 15 tackles against the Bears last week in a losing cause, and he leads the team with 70 coming into this game. First down, Lions. Play action, and Pete forced to throw it away. Flag down. Kuntz nearly had Pete, and I think he's going to be called with intentional grounding. There was a receiver over there on the sideline as a target.
Yeah, they're going to call him.
Intentional grounding.
I don't like that call. I don't like that call, Tim. He's getting the pressure underneath. Now he had plenty of time.
Pressure from Kuntz, and of course he's hoping that Herman Moore is going to turn around. But Sterling Sharp is the guy who winds up making the catch out of bounds.
He was wide open, so he hit him. And look, they've given up 3 sacks today. He's been after him the whole day. Even with all that, I still don't like that call. I think that's a poor call.
Well, we have a second down and very long at the 38-yard line of Detroit. Pete flush. Complete to Jeff Campbell. That's a big-time play, and Pete gets up limping. He had all kinds of traffic to deal with in there, and he hung in, found his man. Short of the first down.
And that's what Dan Henning says this man can do. He's athletic. He can evade the rush. He can use his feet to make his arm work. And that's exactly what happened. Now, on the other end of the ball, he does a good job of coming back to the ball. Finds him. Now they give themselves a chance. Stan Henning, the offensive coordinator, they brought him in there because he said, of all things, we've got to always have a run threat.
They need 7 for a first down. Good catch by Herman Moore. Adrian White made the tackle, but the taller Moore had a better shot at the ball.
Now watch Herman Moore. See if this guy right there, he's their big play guy. Now he came in last week, and they said this is a guy who's got to make big plays for us. They catch him in the zone. Now he floats across. See how he caught that ball? Pure hands. That's a sign of a good receiver.
So it's a first down, Detroit, as we look at an injured Packer. We'll be back in Pontiac in a moment. Bennett, number 90, was the injured Packer, and he's apparently all right. Expect to see him back shortly. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions finally have a sustained drive, and Rodney Peete 4 of his last 6, now 12 of 22 on the day. And they're into the 9th play of this drive at the 30-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. Danny Noonan into the game, number 97, a tackle for Green Bay. Peete got another man open. Perriman out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Buckley on the coverage of Brett Perriman.
Yeah, watch Brett Perriman. Now he's going to be to the right of your screen. They're going to go with the play action, asking to draw the people up, and that opens that whole right quadrant. See that right there? Buckley run off. Now get up the field.
An 18-yard gain to the 11-yard line where they have spotted the ball. First down. Bryce Pop has taken Tony Bennett's spot on the right side now for Green Bay. And they sack Pete. Burnell Dent, number 56, the 4th sack of the day for Green Bay.
Tim, that is another great job of the call by defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes. Now he mixed it. What Dan Henning said that he has done extremely well is inside the 20, called the red zone. They have been unbelievable. He said they play a great zone, and every now and then they'll come with a blitz. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to get bit. Now they just got, that's a great call by Ray Rhodes.
And Tony Bennett has returned to the Green Bay defense. Number 90 out on the right side. Back at the 20-yard line. Again, Pete in trouble, throws the screen. Sanders trying to get loose, can't do it. Got about 4.
Great move by Barry Sanders, but even a greater move there by the defensive line of Green Bay. Now look, they're going to get him now. Here comes the screen. Force it upfield. Now as a defensive lineman, you've got to turn and get back. Johnny Holland makes him cut inside. If you miss a tackle, make him go inside. Here comes Archambault, Christian Barry. That's a good job, that defensive front, turning and getting to the ball. I'm telling you, Johnny Holland missed that tackle, and they're going to say, Johnny, you got to make the tackle. But you know what? When you miss it, make sure you turn it back to the people showing up.
Into the traffic, and that's what he did. 3rd down and 15. Huge play for the Lions. Incomplete. Perriman cannot hold on. Took a good shot from Roland Mitchell, number 47. The starter on the right corner today. And so 4th down upcoming. And Jason Hansen comes on.
Yeah, you know what? Rodney Peete, that's 2 balls that should have been caught. You know, the one earlier with Jimmy Johnson wide open would have kept the drive going. And that one there, can't throw him and catch him, Tim.
Well, that one was going to be well short of a first down,
right,
nonetheless.
Yeah, it would.
34-yard try for Hansen. And it's good. So the Lions get 3. 3:49 to play, 3rd quarter. They still trail 20-6. Tim Ryan with Matt Millen here at the Silverdome, right in the middle of that pack. The imposing body of Jerry Ball, but he hasn't been too imposing on the field so far.
It's been quiet today. You know what? Right now, this is when a guy like Jerry Ball, a guy like Chris Spielman, you've got to be able to go out and establish something, and it's got to be vocal. At a point like this, it's got to be vocal.
Hansen's kickoff. Taken by Corey Harris. Out to the 20-yard line, and a good pop on him. Number 25, Sheldon White. And for another NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, in Atlanta, the Rams are closing the gap on the Falcons. Play action. Jim Everett finds David Lang, and Lang will scoot 67 yards down the sideline. 6:17 to play in the 3rd. Atlanta's lead is now 2, 23-21. Tim?
Oh, they can put them on the board, but they give them up on the board, too. The Falcons do.
It's a different team, though, when we saw them early in the season.
Yep.
They've gotten better and
Rams,
better.
yeah. Rams are better. First down for Green Bay at their own 21-yard line. Almost intercepted by Jenkins, who closed quickly on Brooks.
And Brooks had the step, and Jenkins just closed it in a hurry, and that's the sign of a good defensive back. Now watch the ball come down. He'll have his 2 steps on him out here. You're gonna watch right here. See, he's got the steps. Ball's in the air. Jenkins closes. Should have been a pick.
He's having an all-pro day, Jenkins.
Boy, he sure is. He sure is.
2nd and 10. Jamison flagged down as Jamison pulled Favre down from behind after a gain of about a yard.
It's great speed, great hustle by Jamison right there. 58. He just nonstop came after him, never gave up. You never know, and something like that goes all the way across the field. The quarterback, you never know if he's going to throw, but you just keep on getting, just hope he holds on to it. So by the time you get there, you have something to show for it.
Number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, tough break for the Lions there. Dan Owens, defensive holding.
How do you call defensive holding? Unless he was holding on to the running back or something, but...
Well, my guess would be a receiver trying to come out into the pattern, and Owens must have grabbed him. We didn't see that, but that would be my guess. It was a pass play.
Yeah, watch the right side of your screen of Dan Owens. He's right over here. Yeah, it must have been.
There he is on Workman, on Sidney.
That's a terrible call. That's a terrible call.
I wish you wouldn't be so
defensive.
Yeah. All kinds of movement that time. Pritchett was the Lion who moved, and he will claim that he was drawn over. Kelvin Pritchett, the second-year man from Ole Miss.
Encroachment foul, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
You tell me if Jackie Harris moves or doesn't move. I don't know. You be the judge. Now, did he move or did he not move? I think Kelvin Pritchett has a pretty good argument right there, Tim.
Well, he kind of raised his butt up there, but he didn't take his hand off the ground. So that's one of those...
Still movement.
You know? Still some discussion.
Now watch. Now, he can get up and move, but he can't do this right before the snap because that's going to draw... now they changed it. Yeah, they changed it, Tim.
That's what drew number 94 across.
Yeah, that's good job. That's good job. I like to see a guy admit a mistake, Tim.
Mike Holmgren says, how can you call it one way once and then change your mind?
Yeah, there's a big screen here, and he's done this Dome Stadium, and you know that's one of the things that really changes the game. You know, take a look up there, that big all the way up there. You'll see that screen right there, and that helps. That helps the defense and the offense. See now, what happened when these screens came in, you could see immediately what happened to you and how a guy tried to get you. And no doubt they looked up there and saw the little bit of movement. So instant replay is still here, Tim. Never left us.
That is not supposed to apply regardless, even if it were in force.
I always like that big screen because in the rare occasions that somebody did block me, I wanted to see how it happened.
Well, and you'd like to admire your work when you made a good play.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
First down and 15. It goes against Green Bay, ultimately. Second and 15, pardon me. No, we were right the first time. It was first down and 15. Good time for Favre, and overthrown, intended for Workman. He had Benny Blades coming in to try and knock the football away had it been in any opportunity position for him to catch it, but it was well over the head of Workman.
Yeah, that's a good job. They just send him right down the seam now. On the outside, they're going to open that up. And here comes Benny Blades. Now, you tell me he doesn't know Benny Blades is coming.
Oh, I think he saw him, yes.
Now, here's Jerry Ball. One of the reasons we haven't heard from him today, you know, there's one. Here comes two. Now, there's a bump on number 3. And that's life when you're an all-pro nose guard.
And he says that's what really tires him out. He admits that he gets tired as games go on, and that's mainly because he's got 2 or 3 guys working him. Favre calls a timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Now, why does a guy call timeout? It's real simple. See, now they're going to bring Blades up. They're going to put him on the tight end. Now, that creates a mismatch. This man has this man, and this guy here, the outside backer, is unaccounted for. And they bring up Blades, set him right down. Now you got to get out of it. Timeout.
So Favre now changing up this play. 2nd and 15. Drop the ball. Covered by Pritchett. Easiest sack he'll get all year.
Yep.
Favre, as he was about to let the ball fly, saw it fly out of his hands.
Now, this is the kind of play that I like to get in there and touch the guy so I show up in the stats, Tim. Now, he's got all kinds of time, and that just slips out of his hand. Tell you what you saw right there, that was great pass protection.
And to top it off, a holding call against the Packers. The Lions decline. And it'll bring up 3rd down back at the 13-yard line now for the young quarterback.
Yeah, well, that was on Jerry Ball again. You know, they had to double, then triple him. Now they're having to hold him. So Jerry Ball starting to take that step up here, Tim. Big down.
Intended for Sharp. Not a good throw. He felt the pressure and then took a hit after he released the ball.
Yeah, poor Shea got to him. He's a tough kid, right? That's a great example of toughness right there. It hurts. You just run it off. I've been here before. I know my body.
Jerry Ball souping up that defense some, and despite being double and triple teamed. So it'll be McJulian punting from his end zone.
He got a good one the first time. Now we'll watch, see the weight on his shoulders to see what kind of ball he gets off here. Oh!
Benny Blades.
That's 6 points.
Touchdown.
He'll come off the left side of your screen. They just don't get out there in time. Jackie Harris never gets to him. McJulian doesn't have a chance. The ball bounces properly, and that's 6 points.
Jason Hansen has the point after. And the Lions are back into this football game. 1:30 remaining, 3rd quarter, 20-13. Let's see that. Let's see that punt play again. The block by Blades.
Yeah, this is called the old lookout block. See, he clearly does not get him. See, Jackie Harris right here, he misses him, and all he can do is yell lookout. McJulian never has a chance. Takes a fortuitous bounce. 6 points.
Hansen's kickoff taken by Corey Harris. Out to the 23-yard line. Stopped there by Junior Robinson, number 27. Reserve defensive back. 1:18 still to play in the 3rd quarter. And now a 7-point margin. Green Bay on top. McJulian's first blocked punt ever.
All right, Tim, we got ourselves a football game. And this is when Detroit's got to rise to the occasion, stop them down here. They really got to take a step up. On the other side of the ball, everything's going against you. The crowd is in it. You got to make it happen. Find a way. Get it done.
Workman. Flag flies. Workman got 4, close to 5. Linebacker Dennis Gibson, number 98, made the tackle.
Can't beat the flag, Tim.
Against the pack. Lawrence Pete has come in on the nose to give Jerry Ball a rest. New England playing Buffalo tough.
Holding number 65, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Hallstrom, the veteran guard. number 65, for the holding penalty.
Yeah, it's no surprise that that hold comes inside again. And they've been having a tough time all day inside. Well, I should say in the second half they've been having a tough time. And it's surprising because they came out and they ran right at the middle, the beginning of this half. And now Detroit is toughened up in there.
Pritchett, Pete, Spindler, the front three. Owens making a four-man front now for the Lions. Intended for Sharp, he cannot hold on. Ray Crockett had the coverage.
Yeah, that's a nice matchup by Ray Crockett right here and Sterling Sharp. And they're locked up in man coverage. Sharp goes down. He's just going to bend it in right there. The ball's on its way. And really, for Sterling Sharp, a player of his caliber, that should be a catch.
Yep. Not too often you'll see him drop that one. It makes Favre 0 for his last 5 passing. 2nd and 20. Tight end Harris. Short of the first down, but a good effort out to the 27-yard line. Make it the 28. Spielman and Jameson, the linebackers, converge on him. Pretty good collision on the sideline.
Yeah, he does a good job of, after he catches the ball, of turning his body square to the line and getting up the field. You only gain yards by going forward. You don't gain them by going sideways.
Calvin Pritchett complaining about holding, and a full for. Ball is back in for Pete on the nose for Detroit. 3rd down and 5.
Big play for Green Bay right here.
Packers came rushing out of the huddle. And then Favre, uncertain about the defensive look, takes a timeout.
Yeah, and that might be right there. That might be showing he's a rookie, Tim. That's the second time it's come up and happened.
Well, it looked like the way they came flying out of the huddle that they were trying to catch Detroit before they got lined up. Maybe that didn't happen. Hard to know, but there's the discussion between Holmgren and his young quarterback. Today is a doubleheader day on CBS. Coming up next, Game 2 will bring you the 6-1 Dallas Cowboys hosting the Philadelphia Eagles at Texas Stadium. Remember, the Eagles whipped them 31-7 at Veterans Stadium earlier in the season. It's now time for Cowboy revenge. What do you think about this one?
Well, I told you earlier, I like Dallas. I think that's a team that's going to give it a whirl.
Do they win this game today against the Eagles?
I think they beat them because their offensive line has taken the step up to be able to handle that front. It's in Dallas. They have the crowd on their side. And that's what's happened right now here, Tim. The crowd is into the game. You start to feel the emotion. I mean, you can feel it up here in the booth.
Workman, first down. Chased by Jameson.
Nice call. I like that call very much. That shows they have a lot of confidence in Vince Workman. Now, what they're going to do, they're going to run everybody off. See these guys? They're going to run them off, and they're going to isolate him on him right here. See, and once everybody's cleared, and you give them the room to work, now put one move on, work half the man, look at the room. See this? That's nice offense. Very well constructed and executed.
The teams changing ends at the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Green Bay Packers 20, the Detroit Lions 13. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Town marker, that's Frank Gann. See him right there? He's the former head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and he is the special teams guru of the National Football League. Now, he's so important in the special teams here that they introduced him at the beginning of today's game.
Packers Workman almost broke loose. A flag flies, but he's got a first down in Lions territory.
He's also got a flag, Tim.
Gary Cullen made the tackle. Workman running hard.
We'll wait for Jerry Markbrecht to tell us what's going on.
Ray Crockett slow to get up for the Lions. The penalty will be against the Pack. 13 carries, 66 yards for Vince Workman. This one may come back.
Holding. Number 63, offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Center James Campen, his first game back after being out with a knee injury.
And now Jerry Ball's been complaining all day. This is Campen and Ball right here. Now I can't make the circle big enough because those are two pretty large individuals. Now you see him right there. He's on him. He's on him. Ball getting. See the hands inside? See right there? Right there. Those are the hands. Those are their hands. That's supposed to be an arrow. And he's got him all the way.
Got him right by the shoulder pads through the jersey. First and 15.
Jerry Ball heard something up there.
Sterling Sharp dropped the ball.
He had them right where he wanted them. He beats Ray Crockett off the front. Just runs right out by him. Crockett does the Cardinal Sinner looking back. Now that's a big gain, but instead, that's a big drop.
You know, Sharp said yesterday talking to us, he said, sometimes I think more about running with the ball before I actually have it. He's such a good runner with the ball after a catch. There was a perfect example of his own flaw. Second and 15. Harry Sidney.
It's a good call right there.
Third and about 5.
And they're doing the same thing. They're catching him in the zone. So they're just going to take the running back out, set him right down, and let him get as much as he can.
.11-yard pickup. And we are at the Silverdome, indoor football, Pontiac, Michigan. The visiting Green Bay Packers holding a 20-13 lead. We're just underway in the final period. Tim Ryan with Matt Millen watching this NFC Central Division matchup. Sideliner for Sharp. Sharp has the first down.
Jeez, I'll tell you what. He drops one, everybody's down on him. Then he just breaks that tackle, makes the first down, everybody's back on him.
Got away from Colin, and Kevin Scott finally pushed him.
Watch Sterling Sharp. He's in the slot right here. See? Now he knows where that first down marker is. He's just going to go. Now, look, actually, Colin does a good job. Tack doesn't wrap the arms. Sterling Sharp gets the first down. Yeah, see, that guy's not too happy, huh?
Well, Sharp's going to be his go-to guy even if he drops a few.
Yeah, and he readily admits it. He said, I said, where are you looking? He said, I'm looking at Sterling Sharp. He can make something happen.
First down, Green Bay. Sidney running hard. Be close to another first down. Spielman and Jamison are there. That's an effective play, just slipping the fullback out.
Right. And here's the reason. See, they're going to get the zone. Everybody dropping off. And you're going to take Harry Sidney. You're going to just drop him right underneath. Now, this is as good as a run. As soon as they get, you know, watch the drop. Here he comes. Harry Sidney back underneath. Look at the void. See this right here? And that gives you a good 4, 5, 6 yards to run. And really, they got a first down.
Sidney got it to the 41-yard line, and Spielman not happy about that. It's the way they play that Lions defense, though. They say they're willing to give up those little ones in front. They don't want to give up the big one.
Well, it's the old bend but don't break.
First down. Workman. And Workman gets about another 5.
You know, Tim,
Gibson stopped it.
We've seen Vince Workman. I've seen Vince Workman 3 times this year. Every time I've watched him, he gets better and better. I mean, the guy runs hard all the time, and you never expect real big things out of him, but he's so consistent.
Well, he's got his chance to be a starter this year. Darrell Thompson projected there. Had a quad injury, coming off injured reserve, not yet ready to go, re-injured it in practice. Workman continues as the starter. Second and 6. Movement everywhere. The way Owens came over, he's got to believe that the Packers drew him over.
Yeah,
probably Ken Rutgers.
Start, number 75, offense. prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And that's a shame Kenny Rucker's got that penalty. And, you know, they always say, hey, you're only going to talk about me when I do something wrong. And he did. He got caught right here. But I'm going to tell you, Kenny Ruckers is quietly turning in a pretty good year. And the coaches are the first ones to tell you about it.
In his 8th year, they think that might be the best he's played.
The most consistent year is what Mike Holmgren has said.
And he's bothered by a knee injury. Second down, 11. Favre. The beat hit immediately. Benny Blades.
Hello, Sanjay. My name is Benny Blades. Now watch, you're going to see Sanjay Beach coming across your screen, right across the middle. See, here he comes. Now Blades is on him already. See that? That's one of those ICBMs. Here comes now Kenny Ruckers just got flagged. Owens gets to his top shoulder, gets some pressure right there, jumps in his face. Now once you're to him, you make sure you hit him.
Another big play in this game. Third down and 9. Favre to Sharp, and Sharp running after the catch.
It's going to be.
They have a first down. Another flag downfield, presumably on the tackle.
It's going to be a good mark, whatever they do with not counting the flag. Now, Sterling Sharp never ceases to amaze me. You know, you often criticize receivers for not getting to the first down marker before they make the catch, and this guy's comfortable with it. Hey, throw me the ball 4 yards short. I'll get the first down. That's confidence in his ability to run the football.
And it's still a game to him. Look at him. He's out there smiling away at Kevin.
There's no foul on the play. There is no penalty on the play. We have a first down.
Yeah, he got the first down. Now watch Sterling Sharp at the top of your screen. Now see. Throws him inside. Now that's a physical receiver. And he's going against Ray Crockett, who's a good player. He's got supreme confidence in his ability to run with the football after the catch.
And he got the first down just outside the 30-yard line of Detroit. Lions being pushed back by the visiting Packers here. 20-13, Green Bay lead. 10:20 remaining, fourth quarter.
Gut check time again, Tim.
Spindler and Ball in the middle. Owens and Pritchett outside on the front. Intended for Ed West, off the mark, incomplete. Let's get another NFL update from Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, in New Orleans, turnovers are killing the Saints. Reggie Cobb from 4 yards out off a Saints turnover, and the Bucs have come back to grab the lead. 21-20, still plenty of time left. 10 minutes to play in the fourth. Tim?
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's big for Tampa Bay, really struggling these days. But you got to like that Reggie Cobb. He's having an outstanding season.
Reggie Cobb is establishing himself as one of the better backs in the National Football League.
12th play of this drive. 6:30 taken off the clock by the Packers. 2nd and 10. Favre, he's got a man. Sharp.
Oh, boy. That's 6 points.
Touchdown, Green Bay.
Nice read by Brett Favre. He had the man covering. They gave him the cushion. You don't do that to Sterling Sharp. You just watch, and that's the reason why. Now, Brett Favre knew that he made the right choice. A little bit happy, I'd say. I'm impressed with Brett Favre.
Jackie for the point after a flag. We have had a bunch of flags today, which you see frequently with 2 and 5 teams.
Well, one of them's not going to be 2 and 5 today, and right now it looks like Packers are in the driver's seat.
Sterling Sharp, who had 2 drops uncharacteristic of him. they kept going right back to him, and you knew darn well it's
Try his good defense. 92 offside, 5 yards on the kickoff. Timeout.
Penalty against the Lions. The point will count. 27-13, Green Bay. Today's Sharp hat, the Jake squad, whatever that is. And Sterling Sharp, a 30-yard touchdown pass, 77 yards in 12 plays. Brett Favre connecting, and they used 6:31 of the clock to make it a 27-13 game.
Yeah, that's a good shot right there, Tim, because Mike Holmgren told us that Don Majkowski has been excellent in this whole situation. No question he wants to play. No question he's working hard. But he is doing everything he can to teach the young guy how to go about doing it.
Well, and Majkowski is really a veteran who is plenty young enough to be a starter and expects to be one. And so it is tough for him. And as Coach Holmgren told us, has shown a lot of professionalism in his attitude toward being number 2. Mel Gray, and Mel Gray does his thing all the way to the 34-yard line.
And Tim, they gave him man coverage. Now see this right here. He tried to show zone. You don't do that to Sterling Sharp. Now when you bring people up front, that makes everybody go man. Man here, man here, man here. See that right there? Now he's got the room. Now keep your eyes right down here on Sanjay Beach. Without throwing a block, he effectively blocks him. See that? He just stays in his way, doesn't allow the DB to come back. And that's 6 points.
So the Lions again up against it. 9:48 to play, regulation time. Pete, sideline, Moore, complete. Had the first down, driven back. They'll mark it for him at the 45-yard line.
Surprise, surprise. Another flag, Tim.
It's against the Lions. Ken Dallafor charged with holding. And a look at how things have gone so far in this game. A big play for Detroit. Blades brought them back into this, but Green Bay continuing to dominate. 22 of 37, young Brett Favre, 2 touchdown passes, and 303 yards of total offense.
Yeah, and
before it comes out.
What you didn't see on that was the 10th penalty, Tim. A lot of time.
Pete trying to make it happen. That's incomplete. In the general direction of Willie Green. The Lions offensive line now has rookie Larry Tharp at tackle and Dennis McKnight at guard on the right side, replacing Dallafor. We saw Conover come limping off to be replaced by this man, Tharp. Conover bothered with an ankle injury. Dennis McKnight giving Dallafor a blow.
There's Dennis McKnight, number 63, and he's in for Dallafor. I played against when he was San Diego. You know, one thing he always told me, he was very proud of the fact that he was the most tattooed man in the National Football League.
On second down, Sanders gets about 9 back. Chuck Cecil wraps him up, but another flag down in the backfield.
Yeah, they tackled him from behind. That's holding.
Another holding call against the Detroit Lions.
71 offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Larry Tharp. You know, you have to have sympathy for this Lions team when you consider the ravaging of their offensive line. You talked about it at the beginning of the game. Just one guy from last year's starters. And I mean, it's just very difficult to have to keep changing, knowing that you're playing with backup guys.
Right.
And they're trying their best. That's why you get holding calls.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to remember is you just don't go out and find good offensive linemen. And if there is anybody decent out there, they have to learn your system.
11 penalties against the Lions. Rodney Peete can't get it away. Well, he did get it away. But it's incomplete as he took a real shot from Tony Bennett.
Well, I think that's been the sign today for the Detroit Lions, has been pressure. And Tony Bennett, he's been giving it all to him today. And I watched Tony Bennett, He's just going to come right off the corner. Lots of time, no time rather, from the offensive line. And Bennett's been doing it all day. Now he's working on Tharp, throws him back inside. Good pressure. That was a good example. There's not a real big guy, Tony Bennett, and he's throwing a lot of Larry Tharp around, who's 295 pounds.
Bennett working the left and the right side. He's on the left here. Rodney Peete going deep. Willie Green, the intended receiver, incomplete. Chuck Cecil was there. He got a hand on it. And the cornerback coverage from Vinnie Clark, number 25.
And good job by Chuck Cecil of playing free safety. Ball's in the air. He's got to get to the ball. Has no responsibilities in that, and he gets there, knocks the ball away.
Well, there's a guy who matches the intensity of Chris Spielman of the Lions.
Well, he starts talking about football and all, and tears all start coming to his eyes.
That's right. Arnold standing in his end zone. Buckley waiting for it at the 45 of Green Bay. Uncharacteristic kick from Jim Arnold. Takes a bounce, however, for Detroit, and will turn out all right. Down to the 45-yard line where Buckley had been waiting.
And good field position again for the Green Bay Packers.
And yet another flag. There it is. We've seen a lot of those today.
Unbelievable.
Looks like leftover Halloween candy.
But which should surprise you, leftover Halloween candy with a guy like
Jerry Ball
laying around.
We have a holding penalty on number 88, Green Bay, after the ball had been kicked. The penalty will be enforced from the end of the play. 10 yards, it'll be first down, timeout.
We'll be back at the Silverdome in a moment.
The National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. AT&T, we want you back. And by Castrol Syntex, the new synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't.
The Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. Tim Ryan and Matt Millen here in the fourth quarter of the Packer-Lion game. 27-13 Green Bay lead. Each team at 2-5. And Rodney Peete has been a beaten and battered man here much of the day against this Green Bay number 24 ranked offense in the NFL that has been pouring through that lineup of substitutes and battered linemen, making a tough day for Rodney Peete and company. On first down from the 35-yard line, Workman is stopped by Dan Owens after a gain of maybe a yard.
Tim, see, what you got to remember is 8.5 minutes to go. You still got time to do it. There's still time to turn this game around, but it's got to start right now.
Workman has quietly piled up 76 yards rushing on the day. These are the guys that have to do what you're saying. Yeah, they've just got to somehow stop this Packer team, get the ball back, and give their offense a chance. 7:52 to go. Workman again. Little slide move, picks up about 4 out to the 40-yard line.
That is a good job by James Campen. See, and what they're doing with Jerry Ball, they're just going to let him go where he wants to go. James Campen snaps the ball. See, they double him. Now they bump off. Whichever way you go, see how Vince Workman worked back off him. What that does, see, that puts the advantage in the running back's hands. You let Jerry Ball go where he wants to go, and then you work off him.
There's Kramer on the sideline with offensive coordinator Dan Henning, and that might be an indication that they'll go to Kramer just to try and get something started here if they can get the ball back. Green Bay has other ideas. 3rd and 5. Workman, a big hole up the left side and a first down.
Tell you what, for a situation like that, Tim, that's inexcusable. That's a big time down. You have your chance to make it happen, and they just blow a hole right open. Now watch, one remaining running back. You know who's going to get the ball if they run it. Nice block right here. See, that's a good block. right there. Rich Moran on Jerry Ball. And now all of a sudden you can feel in here, it's almost like they've given up. And that's wrong. There's 6.5 minutes. You had it at 8.5 minutes. That's disappointing.
And Jerry Ball looks like a discouraged guy out there, and he's their best defensive player. He's a great player, and he's discouraged.
Now James Campion's doing a pretty decent job here today because they're letting him, but he said, these are the toughest guys I have to go. Now, Kurt Loudermilk is underrated. He's tough, he's mean, he's after you all the time. Bart Oates, he says, takes me to school. He's the only center in the league that they let him block him one-on-one. Jay Hilgenberg, who we saw many, many times in Chicago, now with Cleveland, he's a finesse guy. So what that does is it keeps him off balance. It never allows him to attack. Those are his 3 toughest guys. Tell you what, this guy right here, James Campen, he may be added to the list before this day's over, Tim.
Campen, they're glad to have him back. Been out on injured reserve with a knee injury, and they've been going with a couple of backups in his stead. Campen's a solid guy. Well, they got the clock sorted out. It's 6 minutes remaining now and counting down. First down, Green Bay. Workman cutting it back inside. Gibson got a hand on him. Dan Owens.
Well, a couple things surprised me here today. Now, I expected the big game out of Chris Spielman. That never happened. I expected a big game out of Herman Moore. They even said that they were going to be throwing the ball high, working on the rookie. That never happened. And the one thing that didn't happen is they weren't able to pass protect. And they got to him early, and that seemed to have served notice for the rest of the game, Tim.
I think that's definitely been the primary difference, that Green Bay rush. Something Green Bay's happy to find, and while they're finding it against a beaten-up offensive line, it's still been the key for them. Second down and 8. Harry Sidney plowing ahead, gets about 5. Spielman made the tackle. Some other scores. New Orleans on a field goal by Morton Anderson has retaken the lead, and Atlanta has gone ahead of the Rams 30-28. We'll be back at the Silverdome in just a moment. Tim Ryan and Matt Millen here, and certainly a somewhat discouraged looking Lions squad. 38 yards of rushing today by the Lions. That's all.
Yeah, and they ran it only 12 times, 3.1. And on the other side of the ball, Vince Workman's carried the load. They have 119 yards rushing, averaging 4.7, and you would almost expect those numbers to be opposite when you got Barry Sanders on your side.
To Green Bay's credit, they have done an excellent defensive job. Third down and 4. Workman. And he's done his job, getting those 3 and 4 yards at a pop. Jenkins trips him up that time, but not before he gets the first down.
Well, I tell you, Rich Moran got out there in a hurry. He did an excellent job of clearing the way. He got on to Chris Spielman, pushed him deep, and that allowed Workman to pick up that first. And there's a guy nobody ever really talks about. He's been in the league a while. He's one of the tougher guys in the league. You know, he won't cut you. He won't try to finesse you. He'll just come back, and I'll tell you, Rich Moran will pound you, pound you, pound you. And he's not the best in the National Football League, but I'll tell you, the guy's got a heart as big as the field.
8 years out of San Diego State. First down, Green Bay. Sidney breaks a tackle, and that is symptomatic there. To the 35-yard line, tripped up by Harry Colon. Colon's been in there for William White, who left in the first half with a sprained ankle. There's more football ahead today here on CBS. The Eagles at Dallas. Everybody looking forward to that matchup. Eagles whipping up on Dallas in Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, earlier in the season. Cowboys waiting for their revenge opportunity, and if they win the game, Dallas, they'll open a little distance on the second-place Eagles. The Philadelphia victory would tie them up.
Now, this was an important victory if they would have gotten it, Detroit. Because look at the schedule. They got Dallas coming up, then Pittsburgh's really playing well. Cincinnati, Houston again, and then back to Green Bay. So schedule doesn't get any easier for them, Tim.
No, and right now these Green Bay Packers can feel reasonably comfortable with 4:03 to go. They're looking mainly for progress.
Right.
Lions are a team that was the division champion a year ago, and despite all of their injuries, they feel that they're capable of doing more. Hadn't surrendered on the playoffs, but now are looking at a 2-6.
And didn't they say yesterday, Tim, that this game would really be the telltale sign of what kind of season it would be?
Second down, a long 2 for the Packers. Taking time off the clock on the ground. It's Workman again, not much room to run. He'll be just short of the first down.
Somebody's hurt.
Mark Spindler made the tackle. Jerry Ball is there underneath it.
That's Rich Moran who's down.
And Moran, the injured Green Bay Packer, number 57. We were just talking about his effort today. Mike Holmgren says he's been happy with this offensive line. You know, the disappointment of Tony Mandarich, his injury, his illness. He's finished for the year. That's now official. A man who, when he was drafted, of course, figured to be a big player on the offensive line, and he's not involved at all. And with Robbins, Hallstrom, Campen, Moran, and Rutgers, Holmgren says they're doing a good job.
And there's Rich Moran right there, and he's over Jerry Ball. And they're just going to be pounding the ball. He's coming off, getting a double, looking for the chip, got the feet moving. Now there it is. See, oh, right there. Don't even let me look at that.
Spindler just got blocked into his leg.
Yeah, that's a knee. I hate to see that.
Rich Moran being helped off.
He got it from the outside, and that probably means a medial collateral. And I'll tell you what, Tim, what happens in the National Football League as a player, you get to know your joints inside and out. You know all the ligaments. You know all the cartilage. You know how it happens.
Well, we hope for Rich Moran's sake that it's not a serious injury.
They need him if they have to get through the next 5 weeks, Tim. They got the Giants, who they have a chance against, Philadelphia coming in, Chicago, who they play, Tampa, Detroit. Yeah, that's a schedule that they can be competitive with. Now, when you talk to Mike Holmgren about where do they want to be at the end of that, he says, look, we want improvement. Now, we would like to win the football game, and we've had opportunities. We want to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that have been presented to us.
We said that he's been happy with the play of his offensive line, but he is thin there. The backups are Cecil Gray, just signed this week, Joe Sims, a second-year man from Nebraska, free agent, and Frank Winters, who can play center and guard, and it's Winters who's there now, number 52. Third in the yard, Sidney, and it looks like a Green Bay first down.
Yeah, they bring Harry Sidney in on plan B. And you get in a situation like this where you got to count on a guy who's going to hold on to the ball, who's going to get the yardage you need, brings that little bit of leadership to you. That's Harry Sidney.
Spielman made the tackle. There's a look at Sidney and Brett Favre. Here's this green young quarterback, and it was quite obvious the impact that Harry Sidney had coming into the Packer organization from San Francisco with his 2 Super Bowl rings. He said, you know, this is not a superstar guy over there, but he said, we could really tell this guy's been a winner, and he's been a great leader for us.
He's one of those guys that every team has to have. You know, what he brings is real positive attitude, and he's not afraid to go up to the biggest superstar in the league and tell him that he's not performing, and he's not afraid to sit down with a guy who's really having problems and pick him up. Harry Sidney understands the psychology of football.
He was an outstanding special teamer with the 49ers for many years. He was a leader in that category.
Yeah, Mike Holmgren knew exactly what he was getting when he got him. He brought him in for special teams. He brought him in for leadership. He's a guy you can count on. He knows the system. He'll teach Dexter McNabb, the youngster. He'll teach Edgar Bennett. And he'll also take care of Workman. He'll take care of everybody out there. I can't say enough about Harry Sidney. He's one of those guys who are just productive.
10th play of this drive. They're just taking the game away from the Lions here. 3:15 to go. The ball is at the 32-yard line and a Green Bay first down. And they have a 27-13 lead. It is a well-earned lead by the Green Bay Packers. Headed for their 3rd victory of the season. Well, guess what? Another flag.
It's unbelievable.
This one may be illegal procedure against the Pack.
False start, offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Who? There's Vince Workman. You know, Tim, been a long time since the Green Bay Packers have had a 100-yard rusher, and Vince Workman has a chance for 3 minutes to go here. 42 games. He's turned in a very good football game here today.
No doubt about it.
Against the strength. You know, the majority of them have come right in the middle.
Yep. First and 15 from the 38.
Hey, guess what? There's your 100 yards, Tim.
A 100-yard day for Vince Workman, picking up close to 5 again. Dennis Gibson stopped him there. 3-minute intervals and counting down. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and the CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, and Matt Millen and the National Football League is prohibitive.
I'll tell you what, Vince Workman, I just want to go out there. I want to pat him on the back. He goes out quietly, does his job. He gets out there early. He envisions everything that's going to happen, plays the game before it's ever played, turns in a big 100-yard day.
They have a second and a long 11, and it's Workman again, and he gets a couple more.
Got 102 yards. Take that. You know, I saw him down prior to the Tampa Bay game a few weeks back, and he just walks around the field, Tim. He just walks, and he's concentrating, and he looks. And I asked him what he was doing. He says, look, I like to play this game before I ever get there. I think your best players do that, Tim.
We have a 2-minute warning here in Pontiac, and we'll be back with Green Bay on top. We've got a great evening for you tonight on CBS. If they voted for the woman they most hated, she'd win in a landslide. Who are they? The feminists. Who is she? Well, you'll meet her tonight on 60 Minutes. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. And that's followed by the CBS Sunday movie, Her Final Fury, Betty Broderick, The Last Chapter. That's all tonight on CBS. Green Bay with a 3rd down and 9 at the 33-yard line of Detroit. The Packers lead it 27-13, 2 minutes to play. Harry Sidney for about 2. In our second game today, as we have been telling you, it should be a dandy. Philadelphia at Dallas, the Eagles and the Cowboys. Eagles struggling a bit the last 2 or 3 games. They lost 2 in a row after a 4-0 start. Only beat Phoenix 7-3 with great defense and not so great offense. Dallas sailing along at 6-1, and the only loss at the hands of the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too, Tim. You know, and I think the whole key, I've said this a whole bunch of times, I'll say it again, Dallas's front in the pass blocking.
Green Bay just letting this clock wind down as best they can, and they take that delay penalty. So Green Bay en route to their victory over Detroit today, and that will raise their mark to 3-5. Detroit will fall to 2-6. Tomorrow night the Vikings play the Bears, and Minnesota at 5-2. The Bears can move into a tie with a victory against the Vikings. Mike Ditka says, I like this game because there's really something at stake, and I bet there's going to be some fireworks in that one. On 4th down, Packers just plow it in there, and will turn it over to the Lions with 1:02 left to play. Eric Kramer will come on, and Spielman and the defense are finished with the effort today.
And they're going to be disappointed with that effort. And when they had to stop them, they couldn't. When they had the pass block, they couldn't. When they had to come up with a big play in a passing game, they didn't.
Eric Kramer will mop up for the Detroit Lions. But few fans that are left give him a welcome. And guess what? A flag. Pass out to Troy Stradford in the backfield now, replacing Sanders.
He doesn't look too happy, does he, Tim?
No, he's disconsolate, I think. You know you've got all of these injuries and the kinds of problems that are going to make every game difficult. But I think that what you talked about earlier is that there seemed to be a little bit of lack of effort, a flatness about this performance today on both sides of the ball, and particularly on the defensive side, where that's where they're still strong and where they needed to pick it up.
Yeah, and Wayne Fonts is a motivating kind of coach. And he says he's a motivator, and that's his job.
Kramer for Perriman. And Perriman trying to get the first down. He'll be just short. Johnny Holland made the tackle. 51 seconds and counting down.
Now this is just stat time for the receivers, and as a defensive back, you're just going to lay back in the zone and keep them in bounds.
Kramer, and then it's intercepted, dropped. Clark had the ball right in his hands. So excited about that possibility at the end of the game that he couldn't hold on. Denny Clark, number 25.
You got to always catch the ball before you run with the ball. He does a good job of staying and turning them back, turning the receiver outside. Look, once you have the difference between a good play and a great play is catching the football.
Worst part about that drop was that it stopped the clock. 34 seconds.
Worst part for you and me, we got to get our plane.
34 seconds remaining, and Eric Kramer on third down here in less than a yard. Stradford pushed out by Holland at the 46-yard line. 26 seconds remain.
Now, it's not going to make a difference here, but Roland Mitchell right there does something you never let a guy do. You don't let him get out of bounds and stop the clock. Mike Holmgren, excellent game plan today. Executed, which they said was a problem for him. Made the big play when they had to.
Off the hands of Perriman. Well, he said he wanted to stop Barry Sanders first and foremost. They sure did that.
They did that. Said they wanted to get a pass rush going. They did that. Wanted to see execution on third downs. They got that. I think every objective that they went into, the major ones, they came out with a plus.
Well, they wanted to throw the ball today, come out throwing, and still be able to maintain that grind it out with Workman when they needed it to use up some clock time. So, yes, it's been an all-around good effort by Green Bay. Barry Sanders, you never know he'd be discouraged if he ever is. He just doesn't allow for that. It's not in his vocabulary. But he's got to be somewhat discouraged.
Now Barry Sanders says, I haven't really had a good game since my second year in the league.
Jeff Campbell made that final catch, and they may not get this play off. That'll do it. Green Bay has won their third game of the season, 27-13. For Matt Millen, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from the Silverdome. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after these words from your local station.
This royal throne.
On a perfect early fall day in Wisconsin,